Good morning, students. Here, in the last class, we have talked about the gastric juice, bile juice, then intestinal juices. In details, we had studied. Next, we will go for the digestion in small intestine. See, all that process or all that secretions are taking place in the that is in the stomach, through the liver, and through the gallbladder, and as well as from the pancreas. Next, we will talk about the digestion which is taking place in the small intestine. So, digestion in small intestine. Digestion in small intestine. Okay, so see here, in the last class we had talked about the intestinal juices. That intestinal juices are going to secrete from the three types of glands. What are that glands? Means that is duodenal gland, intestinal gland, and one more, two types of gland. Duodenal or humorous gland, or intestinal or crypts of Labyrinthian. Okay, so this is about the glands. Next, see, from the stomach, esophagus, see here, from the mouth, whatever the food is going to enter into the esophagus, so that we can call it as the bolus. Okay, after mastication process, whatever achieved food is going to mix with the saliva, and that we are calling it as the bolus. This bolus is going to undergo into a peristaltic movement, and it will enter into the stomach. Like this. It will enter into what? Stomach. Here, from the stomach, it is going to enter into the small intestine, and food, whatever the bolus, here it will enter and it will react into gastric juices. Then that food, after reacting with gastric juices, now we can call it as the chyme. The food which gets digested in the stomach, that food we can call it as the chyme. Next, the chyme will enter into the small intestine. Where it is going to enter, that is the enter into the intestine from the stomach, and it consists of a mixture of partially digested proteins, carbohydrates, and finely emulsified fat. What is this chyme will contain? This chyme will contains a mixture of partly digested proteins, then carbohydrates, and emulsified fats. Okay, see here the chyme, from after action with the or after digesting in the stomach, it will enter into the small intestine, and that chyme, what does it contains? Means it contains a mixture of partly digested, not completely. It is partly digested. Still, it has to digest it. Where? That is in the small intestine. Then we can say the food is completely digested. Okay. So, partly digested proteins, carbohydrates, and emulsified fats. The next here, the alkaline pancreatic juices neutralizes the acid in chyme. Second thing about the chyme, here the alkaline, whatever the pancreas, here this is the pancreas. This pancreas will secrete a pancreatic juice, and this pancreatic juice is alkaline. Okay, see here the alkaline pancreatic juice, the alkaline, wait a minute, the alkaline pancreatic juice neutralizes the acid. See, in the thymus there is the presence of an acid. So, this acid may cause damage to the small intestine. For that reason, the juice, that is the alkaline pancreatic juice neutralizes the alkaline pancreatic juice neutralizes the acid in kind. Acid in kind. Okay, who is going to neutralize? The acid which is present in the thymic, that is the pancreatic juice, which is basic. Okay. The next, the enzyme secreted in the duodenum by the pancreas and the intestinal gland together will bind complete the whole digestion process. See here, enzyme secreted into the duodenum. This is the duodenum region. Okay, here there is in duodenum region enzymes secreted in duodenum, okay, as well as by the pancreas into the duodenum. By the pancreas, that is the secretion of pancreatic juice from the pancreas, which is secreted or poured into what? Here you see, that is in this C-shaped form, C-shaped structure, which is the first part of the small intestine, to which we are calling as the duodenum. Okay, duodenum by pancreas. The next, duodenum by pancreas and the intestinal glands. That is the Brunner's gland and Tryptophan gum. They are also going to secrete their secretion into what? Into the duodenum. Okay. The next, intestinal gland together with one more juice is going to combine with these two secretions. That is the bile juice from the liver. Okay. Intestinal gland and the bile. Okay, see, secretion from pancreas, intestinal gland and bile, that is from liver. All together will secrete in which region? That is in first part of the small intestine, that is the duodenum. Okay, so this will complete the process of digestion. All this secretion from the duodenum in the duodenum will complete the process of what? Digestion. So first we will see one by one. First we will see carbohydrate digestion, fat digestion, then next protein digestion. Okay. So all these things we see one by one. First, that is the carbohydrate digestion. Carbohydrate digestion. First of all, carbohydrate digestion is first initiated in mouth, okay, by the enzyme salivary amylase, where the starch is going to convert it into the maltose. Okay, first it is initiated in mouth by salivary amylase, then it is going to continue into the stomach and intestine. Okay, so carbohydrate, it will be in the form of disaccharide. First of all, I will write down carbohydrate digestion. It is initiated in mouth by salivary amylase. Then it will continue. In stomach and intestine. Continue in stomach and intestine. Okay. Second thing about the carbohydrate. Carbohydrate, first it will be formed in the form of what? Disaccharide. Carbohydrate is in the form of disaccharide. Disaccharide. In which form it will be? It will be in the form of disaccharide. So, like maltose produced by the digestion of starch. Maltose is going to produce from what? From the starch. Okay. Maltose produced from the starch. Okay, here the starch is disaccharide, which is going to convert into what? Into the maltose, and lactose and maltose taken in with the food. So here there is one more enzyme is there, that is the pancreatic amylase, which acts on the, which will in the digestion process, this pancreatic amylase will convert starch into the maltose and glucose. So we will see that reactions one by one here. See here, pancreatic amylase completes the digestion of malt. See, only the thing, starch is going to convert into the maltose, but not into a simple sugar, that is in the glucose, where in the mouth. But who is going to complete the digestion? That is in the by the enzyme or by the juice, that is the pancreatic juice. In that one enzyme is there, that it is the pancreatic amylase. See here, starch will convert into maltose plus glucose. In the presence of an enzyme, that it is the pancreatic amylase. This is the first reaction. Second, maltose, sucrose and lactose are hydrolyzed by an enzyme, that is the maltase, saccharase and lactase respectively. Let's see about that one. Sucrose gets hydrolyzed to glucose and fructose. Now comes the glucose. You can see here. Starch, maltose. Starch is a polysaccharide, maltose is a disaccharide, and glucose is a monosaccharide. Okay. So here, next sucrose will convert into the simple sugar, that is the glucose, and plus fructose. So, which enzyme is going to hydrolyze this sucrose into glucose and fructose? Means that it is the saccharase. What is the name of enzyme? Saccharase. And what will be the pH over here? Means the pH will be 5 to 7. In the presence of this pH, sucrose hydrolyzed by an enzyme saccharase, which gets converted into glucose and fructose. Next, maltose is there. Maltose in the presence of an enzyme maltase. What is the enzyme name? That it is the maltase. It gets converted into glucose plus glucose. 2 molecules of glucose and the pH, that is 6.7 to 7.2. 6.7 to 7.2. And third one, lactose. It will convert or gets hydrolyzed. Lactose gets hydrolyzed in the presence of enzyme, that it is the lactase. What is the name of enzyme? Lactase at pH 5.42, 5.42, 6.0. Okay, 5.4 to 6.0. Lactose is hydrolyzed by an enzyme lactase at this pH. It will convert into the glucose plus galactose. Glucose plus galactose. Okay, first you listen here. Pancreatic amylase will complete the digestion of starch. Okay, where? In the small intestine. Starch in the presence of an enzyme, pancreatic amylase gets converted into maltose and glucose. Second thing here, that maltose, sucrose and lactose, these all are what? Sugar molecules. So these sugars are hydrolyzed by some of the enzymes saccharase, maltase and lactase to form the simple sugars. Here you see sucrose in the presence of enzyme saccharase at this pH will convert into glucose and fructose. Okay, in all these three reactions, you can see there is an formation of glucose. Okay, from complex or from this complex carbohydrates into the simple sugar. So this is about. So here the final products of carbohydrate digestion. These are the simple monosaccharides. This glucose, fructose, galactose. These are the final products of carbohydrate digestion. So what are these? These are the simple monosaccharides. These all are, see here, that is glucose, fructose, and one more, that is the galactose. These three are the monosaccharide, means which contains only one sugar molecule. Monosaccharide sugars. Monosaccharide, simple monosaccharide. What they are? They are the simple monosaccharide. These are the complex monosaccharide which gets converted into the simple monosaccharide. The next we will see about the fat digestion, how the fat is going to be digested. Next it is fat digestion. See here, second one is the fat digestion. Here, the fat digestion starts only in the intestine, not in mouth and all. Okay, and in stomach also, the fat digestion will not take place. It will start in the small intestine. Okay, fats are hydrolyzed by enzyme, that is the lipase, which is secreted by the pancreas and intestinal gland. See here, it starts only in the fat digestion starts only in small intestine. Okay, so fats are hydrolyzed by the enzyme. Fats hydrolyzed by lipase. Lipase, which is the enzyme. Okay, lipase secreted. This lipase is secreted from the pancreas. Okay, pancreas and intestinal gland. Secreted by pancreas and intestine. Okay, this lipase, which is secreted from the pancreas and intestine, this will hydrolyze the fats. Next thing, intestinal glands, not intestine, sorry, it is intestinal glands. Next, here, ingested fat is finally dispersed under the influence of bile salts. Okay, in the upper part of small intestine, that is in the duodenum. What happens means, whatever the ingested fats will be there, it is going to be dispersed by what? By the bile salts. See here, ingested fat is dispersed. Ingested fats gets dispersed under the influence of bile salts or dispersed by bile salts. Who is going to disperse or separate that fat molecules, means that is the bile salts. So this process will take place in where? In upper part of small intestine, means that is in duodenum. Okay, the next term here, emulsified fat is hydrolyzed into glycerol and fatty acids. Lastly, emulsified fats, when these fats are come in contact with the bile salts, then that fat will convert into the emulsified fats. These emulsified fats is hydrolyzed into glycerol and fatty acids. This is the final products of fatty acid and glycerol are the final products of what? Of fats. Okay. So next we will see here what is the sequence of this fat digestion according with the reaction. Next we will see about sequence in the fat digestion. See, lipid. First of all, lipid is one of the triglyceride. What it is? Triglyceride. That triglyceride has to hydrolyze into what? Monoglyceride. Then that is the glycerol and fatty acid. See here, lipid in the presence of enzyme lipase. Okay, lipid in the presence of enzyme lipase, it gets converted into glycerol and fatty acids. Into what? Glycerol and fatty acids. Okay, here the lipid is triglycerides. Okay, this will converted first into the lipase in the presence of an enzyme lipase into what? Diglycerides. Diglycerides. And these diglycerides again in the presence of an enzyme that is the lipase converts into the monoglycerides. Lipase into what? Into monoglycerides. Okay. So here the monoglycerides, finally, what are these monoglycerides? These monoglycerides are the glycerol and fatty acids. Okay. A mixture of fatty acids, bile salts and monoglyceride is an effective system for stable emulsification of fat. Okay. So the digestion of fat is initiated and completed in the intestine itself. The next last one, that it is the protein digestion is there, then cellulose digestion is there, one more, that is the nucleic acids. So these all things we will continue in the next class. And one more thing, these reactions are very important, especially the digestion, carbohydrate digestion, protein digestion and fat digestion. Okay, so in the tomorrow's class we will talk about these things. Then we will go for the purification. Then next we will go for the I will give some questions. Then next we will go for the absorption of carbohydrates, absorption of proteins and fats. Okay, thank you. We will continue in the next class.